Hello everyone, welcome to Digital Videos. Today, the second part, we will see how to manage each track. Second part of the Denon DJ project, Denon DJ with Engine Prime and Engine OS. So we saw how to manage playlist, how to incorporate tracks from your iDrive or from a DJ software, another DJ software. Now we are going to see how to manage each track, how to edit the grid, how to put some hotcues loop, and we will see on the next video how to export on a USB key, what are the different parts to make a good USB key for your device. So let's see these tracks for example. So you can have a different kind of situation when you analyze the track. For example, it's not here, it's not a good example because everything is good. You see, BPM is good, grid is good, the first beat of the bar is good, so everything is fine. But you can find some increments between the grid, BPM, etc. For example, let's see if I put a strange BPM on my track. You have a strange BPM and you have a strange grid, you see? The grid is not following the track. So first you have to see if before putting your track on a USB key and go directly on the gig, you have to see if the BPM on each track and the grid is good. Because if you use, it's not a problem if you manage your track with your ears, your brain, and not the sync button, etc. But if you use the sync button, if the BPM or the grid are not good, your mix will be not good. So the gig will be a disaster. So you have to check if everything is good. So I will uncheck my track, reanalyze, and I have 115 BPM. So it's cool. So first, the BPM is great, the grid is great, but let's focus on not a so good grid. You see, you have this grid here, and each beat are not on each part of the grid. So it's not good. If you want to have a good grid like that, you have just to push the little arrows here, and you can manage how the grid is good with your track. And to finish with the grid, you have those buttons here allow you to switch. You see the first beat of the bar. So when you listen, for example, here, it will start here. But you see, the red bar is not directly here. So you can, with this arrows here, you can move left to right to have the good beat. You will see the first beat of the bar. So each four beat, I have one bar. It's good like that. So grid, cool. You can also, it's very important, multiply or divide by 2 your BPM. Why is so important? Because when you have a playlist, when you mix like drum and bass, dubstep, jungle, those tracks are complex BPM, complex rhythm. So it can be, the software can analyze, multiply or divide by 2. For example, if you have a track at 80, you can have on the same playlist 10 tracks. Maybe you have tracks between 78, 80, 82, etc. And you have 1 or 2 tracks with 160 or 162 or 158. It's not incorrect, it's not false, it's not good. It's good to have 80, it's good to have 160, but if you want to use a sync button, for example, if you don't use your brain or your ear to match to tempo, and if you sync 80 BPM with 160, you will have 80 BPM multiply by 2 and you will have a track very fast. It's not with a sync button, I mean. So it's not a good behavior, you know, a good thing. So you have to match manually every track to maybe 80 near 80 or near 160 to have everything near 80 and or everything near 160. So if you have for example 162 and the other tracks at 80, you have to match to 81 to have the same thing as 161, but has the other tracks near the 80. So you have 80, 81. So it's more more good for the sync button. So when it's done, grid, part, etc., you have just to put your hot cues and loops before putting your tracks or your plays directly on USB thumb drive. So hot cue and loop are different menu here. So you have 8 hot cues and 8 loop. You can have a manual part. So I can show you this one here. First, we will see with just 2 push on this bar on the top here. For the hot cue, it's pretty cool. So be sure you have the quantization. It's better to have this to prepare your track. Of course, if you're mixing, you can have without quantize, but to not be a complicated thing, you should use the quantize section. So let's see what I can do with hot cues. For example, this one, this little break. This one, little break here. And the drop here. So I have those hot cues. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So pretty cool hot cues. Okay. Loop session. So first in and out on those little buttons here. So I can put my in point and out point. So maybe I will put this loop here. And out here. So I have the first one. Let's put another one, for example, on the break. This one, exit, and maybe another drop here. I put 8 bits for the loop, but you can put 16, 4 bit, 42, like you want. So I have 3 loop here, manually. After, you can put another type of manual loop here. Loop in, loop out. You can have a half loop, double loop. You can shift on the left, on the right, you will see. So for example, I will put a loop, for example, here. So half and half. Maybe I like it, I can put here. And maybe in half, and I will shift. You will see. I can record it and move. So I have this one. Pretty cool. And the last method is with the auto loop. So you can choose the beat you want, up to 132 to I think 64. Yeah. So you choose the length, for example, 16 beat. Here, for example. And you can record it here. Of course, you can divide or multiply. And last thing, with the manual loop, you can also navigate through your track with the little arrows here. So if you have a little bit of your loop, you will have a little travel like that. See, little. And if you move with a big number, you see you can move very, very fast. And it's done for the hotcue and loop. We'll see after in the next video how to prepare your USB key and put all your track and playlist directly on it to be played directly on the Prime Go or Prime 2, Prime 4, SC6000, S6000M. Feel free to ask your question under the video on the comment section, and thank you for watching this one. See you next content. Bye bye.